Welcome back to our coverage of the Senzo Meyiwa trial in the Pretoria High Court. My name is SIGO. Today, we delve into the cross-examination of Sergeant Vusumuzi Mogane, one of the key investigators in the case. The defense intensively scrutinized Mogane's version of events. The focus of the cross-examination was the day investigators escorted Bongani Ntanzi to his workplace, the Sibanye-Stillwater mine in Carletonville. This was to confirm if Ntanzi was present on the day Senzo Meyiwa was tragically killed. The defense carefully pointed out the movements of the car Mogane was driving that day, seeking to challenge his testimony. As the defense highlighted, on that fateful day, Mogane spent hours circling the areas of Alberton and Germiston. These movements raise questions about the purpose and the timing of these actions. Mogane provided an explanation, stating the car had a problem, and that he tried driving the vehicle a bit but the wheels were already stiff, they could not move back and forth. Hence he switched it off for quite some time for it to cool off. This response aimed to clarify any doubts raised about his actions that day. It is worth noting that during Ntanzi's testimony, he claimed to have been beaten and suffocated at a petrol station to coerce a false confession regarding Meyiwa's murder. This location played a key role in the examination of the investigator's testimony. As we witness this intense cross-examination, it becomes evident that the defense is unrelenting in their efforts to challenge and scrutinize every aspect of Mogane's version of events. The Senzo Meyiwa trial continues to captivate the nation as the search for the truth unfolds in the Pretoria High Court. Thank you for joining us in today's update. Stay tuned for more insights and updates on this gripping trial. Remember to subscribe to our channel for future updates.
Mr. Mogane, let's look at 1852. Okay, it's 1853. 1853. It reflects Mali Street, Fairwood Park, Alberton.
Ibon Mali Street, Fairwood Park, Alberton. Witness is still looking for it.
Page 31.
Yes, we are on page 31, my lord.
So, from 1853, when you were at Mali Street, Fairwood Park in Alberton, so you start up the motor vehicle. Did you switch off the engine of the motor vehicle at Mali Street?
Re benje le gona mola mo Mali Street go tlogelle nako ela ya 1853 lile la tima koloina re benje le mo Mali Street. Yes, I did switch it off.
Lana ke ngo 1853 tshengisa ukuthi ke use Mali Street eFairwood Park eAlberton yabonisa ukuthi imoto iyadonyisa ke ingaba ngalo ya 1853 la ya Mali Street imoto wayicisha yini? Yebo, ngayicisha imoto.
All right. Between 1853 and 1915, you start up the motor vehicle again at Mali Street.
Maharenga 1853 le 1915 gona mola Mali Street le timile koloi la be la idumisha ga. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi phakathi kwakhe u1853 naye u1915 imoto yaduma edumiswa futhi ke khona eMali Street emuva kokuthi yayiseyicishiwe khona eMali Street.
In between these two times, 1853 and 1952, it gives me 22 minutes.
Bona ba re ba lebella nako e o go tlogelle 1853 go ya go 1915 e ba ne ya metsotso e masome a babedi pedi. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso-ke ukuthi-ke ukusuka kuyena-ke u-1853 kuyoshaya-ke u-1915 ukuthi lokho kukunikeza-ke imizuzu ewu-22.
All right. From 1915 to 1920, after you have started the motor vehicle, then you drove to Collins Street.
Go tlogela ka 1915 lile la tswela pele la hwetša go fitlhelele 1920 le ya mo Collins Street. That's how it reflects.
Sitshengisa kanjalo-ke nalana-ke ukuthi ngaye u-1915 u-1920-ke sahamba-ke kuyona i-Collins Street.
According to your observation, between Mali and Collins, are these two streets parallel to each other?
Go ya ka pono ya lena mebila e lebane na Mali le Collins.
Nka se fetolo ga re a ke bone a ke tseo ke tla dile bana re a ke nka se kgone e fetola.
I will not be able to respond to that as I do not see the roads. I will not be able to know whether are they parallel or not.
Ukuthi-ke isimo-ke phakathi kwale migwaqo emibili-ke iMali kanti nayo i-Collins ukuma kwazi ukuthi ngime kanjani angiyiboni-ke lana phambi kwami azikho phambi kwami angeke-ke ngikhona ukuthi ngiphendule leyo mbuzo.
Then when we further look at 1925, the car was idling.
Re re tswela pele re ya fase re bona gore ka 1925 koloi bentse e duma
at Mali Street.
Mo mmileng ola wa Mali.
To see that, to dispute it.
Yes.
Yes, I can see it.
Do you agree or disagree?
Le a dumela go ba ga le dumela.
Ke dumela re be idle.
I agree that it was idling.
Remember, sorry.
Ngiyavuma-ke ngiyabona ukuthi-ke imoto lena-ke yayi-idle-ke.
And furthermore, at 1930, the motor vehicle is still idling.
Ka 1930 e bontsha gore koloi e sa duma. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso-ke nokuthi yatshengisa-ke ukuthi ngaye u-1930 imoto yayisaduma-ke.
All right. The version of accused number 2 is that the first time he was assaulted, he was next to a garage, an engine garage. But he wasn't precisely sure about the name of the garage, but he could see the garage from where he was assaulted.
Molatofatso wa bobedi o re yena la mathomo ge ne a betwa o be a le kgauswi le garage le ge ile gore ga a sa gopola leina la gona eupia o be a kgona go bona garage. I am listening.
Umsolo wesibili-ke uthi la aqala khona ukushaywa kwakuseduze-ke negaraji akalikhumbuli-ke igama layo kodwa wabona-ke ukuthi kwakunegaraji la ashaywa khona umfakazi uthi ngilalele.
And it is his version that it was an open area because he was not assaulted inside the garage. It was opposite an open area.
Gape yena o re tulo ye webele tulo ye bulegileng gauswi le yona garage ye we a se a bethelwe mo gare mo garageng mola mo go tshelwang gona eupia o re gauswi le garage. I am listening.
Ngilaleleke uma uthi-ke la ashayelwa khona-ke wayengashayelwa khona-ke egaraji leyo kodwa-ke indawo nje evulekile eseduze nayo igaraji leyo.
And where he was assaulted, at the place which is opposite the garage, they are separated by that Grey Avenue.
O re gape mo a betilweng gona tulo yewe e mo gausi le garage yewe e fapantshitswe ke yona tsela ela ya Grey. I am still listening.
Ngisalaleleke uma uthi-ke la ashayelwa khona-ke kuleyo ndawo-ke evulekile ihlukaniswa-ke yona-ke umgwaqo leyo lowo oyi-Grey Avenue.
My Lord, if I may be given time at least to calculate the minutes in which, according to the version of the accused, reflecting from the time in which they stood, I would add 22 minutes. 27, 32, approximately 37 minutes.
Ore ikanwa ichere metsotso ya masome tharo supa. I am listening.
Uma uthi ke lokho konke ke lokho noma kwathatha ke imizuzu ke ewu-37 ngisalalele.
And according to his version, that's when he said, when you parked at that place with Sergeant Mabena, that's when Jonathan joined you. After Jonathan, it was Mapumulo in company of Constable Buthelezi with a hard body, a white Nissan hard body.
Organa kowe lena le bela le Mabena ke mo ileng gore Jonathan o ile a fihla a sepela le Maphumulo le Buthelezi a le ka gare ga koloi ya hard body. I am listening.
Uthi ke uma engitshela ke noma engichazela ke umsolo wesibili ukuthi yila khona ke wasefika uJonathan emuva kwalokho ke bafika yena ke uMaphumulo kanye naye ke uButhelezi ehamba ngemoto ke eyi hard body
from 1930 up to 1935. That's when there was a movement. Here it reflects that the vehicle had an excess idle, but near Fraser Street, Alberton and Germiston.
Barre go tlogella ka 1930 go isha mola go 1935 ke mo ileng gore koloi ile ya sepela eupia mo e bontsha gore ke excess idling mo mmileng ola wa Fraser mo Alberton. That is correct. Just a moment. 1930 to 1935 shows that it was idling.
Okay. Lana ke iyatshengisa ke ukuthi ngaye u1930 ukuthi ke imoto iyayiduma khona ke kuseduze kwayo iFraser Alberton and Germiston.
So you would agree with me that the car was moved from Mali Fairwood Park in Alberton to Fraser Street in Alberton, Germiston.
Letlo dumellana le ena ge gore ke nnete gore koloi e tlošitšwe mo mmileng ola wa Mali mo Fairwood Park Alberton ishua go mmila ola wa Fraser mo Alberton Germiston.
AVL.
Yes, as the AVL reflects.
Kuzovuma ke ukuthi lana ke imoto yasuka ke khona la eMali Street eFairwood Park eAlberton yase iya ke eFraser Street Alberton Germiston. Nanjengoba ke itshengisa ke yona iAVL
1942 back to Collins. Ignition off near Collins Street, Fairwood Park, Alberton.
Ka 1942 nako ke mo ileng gore lile la boela mmileng ola wa Collins Fairwood Park Alberton ke re koloi itimiwa. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso ke ukuthi kubhaliwe la ngo1942 imoto yacishwa ke yase buyela khona ke eCollins Street eFairwood Park Alberton.
Okay. 18 minutes past 10. Ignition off at Fairwood Park.
Metsotso ya lesome seswai ka moraga iri ya lesome koloi ya timiwa gona mo Mali Street Fairwood Park Alberton. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso ke nokuthi ke ngayo ke u2218 umizuzu ke u18 ngamuva ke ngo10 ebusuku yase icishwa ke imoto eMali Street Fairwood Park Alberton.
At 22:52 the car was start up again at Mali Street Fairwood Park Alberton.
Metsotso ye seswai ka pele ga iri ya lesome tere bošego ke ge le gore koloi ya dumišiwa gape gona mo Mali Street. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi ngaye ke u2252 imoto yaduma futhi ke noma yadunyiswa futhi ke eMarley Fairwood Park Alberton.
At 22:58, 2 minutes to 11, the car was driving at Marley Street and it reflects an excess idle and later ignition off.
Metsotso ye mebedi ka pele ga iri ya lesometere e bontsha gore koloi e be e kgweetsa gona mola Marley Street ya bontsha gape le excess idling ga e fetša ya timiwa.
Maybe for the sake of the record, council keeps on saying at this particular street, at Marley Street. Council keeps on saying the car was at a particular point, but the information is near that particular street, not at that particular street.
Beg your pardon, my lord. I'll put it as it reflects. I just missed the word near Marley Street.
Barre nakwe ka moka gentse go bolelwa ka mmila ola wa Marley. Barre e kgauswi le mmila ola wa Marley ka mokgwa e tswelelang ka go. I am listening.
Ngilaleleke umshushisike uthi-ke uqala nje ummeli ukuthi-ke ayibekeke ngale ndlela ebhalwe ngayo lana ngoba ummeli uthi kwistrata esithize kodwa lana kubhalwe ukuthi eduze nestrata esithize.
At 11:05 at night, there was a startup of a motor vehicle, Marley Street.
Metsotso e metlhano ka moraga iri ya lesometere ke mo e leng gore koloi ile ya dumishiwa gape kgauswi le mmila wola wa Marley. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso-ke ukuthi-ke imihlanu imizuzu-ke libumbene elashumi-nanye-ke ntambama ihora imoto idunyisiwe futhi-ke eduze nestrada iMarley khona eFairwood Park e-Alberton.
At 11:10 at near Marley Street, there was an excess idle.
Metsotso e lesome ka moraga iri ya lesometere gona mola kgauswi le mmila wa Marley koloi ile ya duma gape. That is correct.
Nokuthi-ke ishumi-ke imizuzu libumbeneke elashumi-nanye-ke ntambama imoto idunyiswa futhi-ke khona eduze naseMarley eFairwood Park e-Alberton.
11:15, Marley Street excess idle.
Metsotso ya lesometlhano ka moraga iri ya lesometere bošigo ke ge e le gore koloi gape e tswela pele ya duma gona mokgauswi le mmila ola wa Marley. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso kubhaliwe-ke lana ngo-23:15 ukuthi imoto iyaduma-ke khona-ke eduze nestrada iMarley khona eFairwood Park e-Alberton.
Same applies to 20:11 and 25:11.
Le ka metsotso ye masomepedi ka mora iri ya lesometere le metsotso ye masomepeditlhano ka moraga iri ya lesome koloi bentse e duma gona mmileng ola wa Marley. That is correct, my lord.
Kanjalo-ke ngo-20:11 kanye no-25:11 isaduma-ke imoto khona lapho eduze neMarley Street.
11:07, the ignition off.
Metsotso ye masomepedi šupa ka moraga iri ya lesometere ke ge koloi e timiwa. That is correct.
Nokuthi-ke ngayo-ke imizuzu ewu-27 emuva-ke ko-11 imoto-ke iyacishwa.
12 midnight, start up the motor vehicle.
Metsotso ye
Marley Street.
ye lesome nne ka mora bošigo gare ke ge e le gore gona mo mmileng ola wa Marley koloi ya dumišwa gape. That is correct.
Imizuzu ewu-14-ke libumbeneke elashumi-nambili ihora imoto iyadunyiswa futhi eduze naso istrada iMarley eFairwood Park.
At 12 midnight, excess idle near Marley Street.
Metsotso ye lesome senyane kamraga boshigo ga re ke ge ile gore koloi ya duma gape gona kgauswi le mmila wa Mali mo Fairview Park ka di 19 ja June 2020.
19 June. I said, oh, sorry. Hey. Sorry, President.
Yes, I can confirm as it was now on the next day, my lord.
Ngiyavuma-ke ukuthi ngayo-ke le mizuzu-ke ewu-19 emuva-ke wakhe u-12-ke ukuthi imoto-ke manje-ke isiyahamba-ke chazwa-ke nedate-ke yazo i-19 lezo zikajuni-ke ngawo-2020 nanjengoba kwakuse elinye-ke ilanga manje.
At 23 minutes past 12, the car is driving near Mali. Is it driving? It reflects driving Mali Street. Near Mali Street.
Metsotso e masomepedi tharo ka moraga boshigo gare koloi e bontšha ile gore ya kgwetša gona kgauswi le Mali Street, Fairview Park, Albert. That is correct.
Nokuthi-ke ngayo-ke 23 yeah imizuzu 23 emuva kwakhe-ke u-12 imoto isiyahamba-ke khona eduze nasemali Street.
I wish you to please to note this one before I proceed.
Bare ba khopela gore lena le ele tlhoko ye ka pela ga gore ba tswele pele.
At all these times, Mali, Collins Street, Fraser Street, movement from Alberton and Germiston to Fairwood Park, Alberton. At all these times that have placed before this honorable court's record, where is the escort?
Bare ka dinako tše ka moka tše ba di bolela magareng ga mmila wa Mali, Collins le Fraser le mola Fairview Park le Alberton and Germiston. Batho bale ba be bentše ba le thuša ba le lateletše bona ba be ba le kae? They were present.
Kumele futhi ukwazi-ke ukuthi ngazo zonke le y'nkathi ayifundile ayichazile lana le ndawo ezahlukile-ke abo Mali, abo Fraser, abo Collins, zonke nje le ndawo ey'fundiwe lana ukuthi laba ababeniphelezela-ke phecelezi-ke escort babe kuphi bona-ke pendule ukuthi babe khona.
If those you said they were present, do you mean Jonathan, Buthelezi, Mapumulo, the late Mabena, and yourself, including accused number 2?
Le rapore le bolela ka Jonathan o be a le gona, Buthelezi o be a le gona, Mapumulo o be a le gona, le mohu a moya wa go tswele pele go robala ka khutso Mabena le ena o be a le gona le molatofatšwa a ntse a le gona. That is correct, I confirm, my lord.
Mangisho-ke ukuthi babe khona-ke ngisho-ke yena-ke uJonathan uMabena ongase usewashona-ke uThelezi uMaphumulo mina-ke kanye futhi naye-ke umsolo.
And at that time,
as the court pleases, it appears that counsel and the witness might be at purposes, my lord, at cross purposes, because the counsel is talking about the time when they were coming from Carletonville, going back to Pretoria, and it appears that the witness now thinks that is referring to the trip to Morocco. If counsel can just clarify that to avoid misunderstanding.
Yes, Mr. Meyiwa.
my lord, I've made it clear that at the time when they were at Mali Street, Collins Street, and Fraser Street, I did not mention anything about Morocco. I didn't speak about Pretoria North. I was referring at all these times that are recorded according to this AVL. The witness has confirmed that they were escorted by the persons that he has confirmed on that night.
Sir, what's your answer?
Karabo ya lena e reng ge ba re re na kwela lebenjele le mo Mali le Collins lenje le koloi iduma na kwewe ka moka ba benje ba le gona bo Jonathan bo Buthelezi le ba bangwe ga senke ba bolele ka Moroka ga senke ba bolele ka Pretoria ba bolela ka nakwela le benje le mo Gauteng le Milaola wa Mali.
ba tle ba re go itsa bona mo tšatšile.
They came and found us there.
ba tšwa le rena go tloga Carletonville ba se.
They did not come with us from Carletonville as they were not there in Carletonville.
Laba ke ekhulunywa ngabo ke laba ebabuyibona ke ababesiphelezela ke phelezeke ababeseskhotha ke ukuthi bona ke basithola kuzona le ndawo lezi ezishiwo ezichaziwe ke lana umeli aboma Fraser aboma Mali aboma Collins khona lapho abezanga nathi ke noma abahambanga nathi ukusuka eCarletonville babengekho bona eCarletonville.
Thank you. That is consistent with the version of accused number 2 when he said upon your arrival at a place next to a particular filling station, Jonathan arrived later on joined by Mapumulo and Buthelezi. That is consistent with the testimony that you just confirmed in court. Is that so, sir?
Barasel sibulela sia tshwana se sibulelwa ke molafatshwa gore yena re ne le motulong yela ke mo ile gore Jonathan Buthelezi le Mapholobo ba ile ba fihla ba re dia tshwana le tse di boletsweng ke yena ke nnete na. That is correct.
Lokho kushoyo ke uyahambisana ke nalokho okushiwo yena ke umsolo wesibili ukuthi yebo ke ila khona ke uJonathan Buthelezi noMaphumulo bafika khona ke uthi yebo uqiniso lokho.
And what is further confirming the version of accused number 2 is that there was a garage, there was a petrol station or a filling station. That is consistent with the version of accused number 2. Do you agree?
Barantwe mo gape le gore isibishana le dilo tse le gore molatofatso a bobedi o ba boditse tsona ke gore bogobe mo Gauteng gana mo bue go be go na le petrol station le yona garage le adumela.
Engine garage very mo go yona.
That is correct. There is a engine garage where we were.
Futhi ke lokho kuphinde futhi kuhambisana ke nalokho kushiwo yena umsolo wesibili ukuthi lokho kwenzeka ke kwindawo ke ekune garage khona ke fakazi yebo ne garage ke engine la esasikho khona.
From that time up to the time when I was about to take you on when you were leaving, but up to 0023 there's only thing that you are disputing is that accused number 2 was not assaulted by the police. That's the only thing that you can dispute now. Do you agree?
Barre dilo tse ka moka tse be ba di boletse ka pele ga gore ba botse potšišo bare le na le a di dumela gore molatofatso le be le na le ena koloi bo mabe bo Jonathan ba le fitlhetse mola selo se se dire se ile gore lena le fapana le sona ke se sa gore molatofatso o bethilwe ke nnete gore lena le fapana le seo
ya go betha ona a ke dumele ke gana.
I disagree that the accused was assaulted, my lord.
Kukona konke ke ngichazile kona ke lokhu engikushoyo kwena ukuthi ke bafika ukuthi umsola naye uyakusho ke nani se garage bafika oJonathan abo Maphumulo abo Buthelezi lokho uyavumelana nabo into ongavumelani nayo ukuthi umsola washaya eyokuthi washaywa ke yona ke cha ngiyayiphikisa.
So those hours, minutes, seconds that were spent at that particular place, what were you actually doing?
Biale, nako yewe di iri metsotswana elena le be le dutse tulong yewe le be le diraine
with those officers
le maphodisa auwe. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to explain.
Manje ke lesisikhathi ke lamahora lamanenjana futhi ke nalemizuzu ke enachitha ke lapho nanenzani ngiyabonga ukuthi unginikeze lethuba lokuthi ngichaze
yes eloko pola mosegare o na le mo re emeng sa sol garage ke be ke cheka mabili aka re sa ya kwa Carletonville eloko pola ke
sorry my lord,
if you would remember.
Sorry my lord to interject, may I confine this witness specifically at Fairwood Park, not at, that's why I did not canvass anything in relation to what happened at Carletonville, Western area and so forth. My main concern, the explanation that I'm expecting from you, is about your presence in Albemarle, your presence in Fairwood Park, and what were you doing at that particular spot?
Mr. Gomezu, let the witness explain. He actually thanks you. He says, thank you for giving me the opportunity to explain.
Yeah.
Have you heard people telling stories? Long ago, there was an old man with 6 teeth and a long beard.
Yes.
And Mr. Mnisi will say, in the past, there was this gentleman who told stories. So let's hear what he wants to say.
Bialere khoro e re le ka tswela pele le tlhaloshe le ge ile gore ntate Mngomezulu o be a sanya ke gore le tlhaloshe o ba nya ka gore le bolele fela ka tsela tša mmadi fela khoro e re le fenako lena le re botse nnonwane ya lena
ka ge ke boletse ke rile na go re saya Carletonville ke tsene garage ka cheka mabili aka
as I've explained
na go re saya ka bo 1988
as I've explained that in the morning whilst we were still driving to Carletonville, I went into a petrol station to check my wheels. My tires, my lord.
Mangiphuma ke khona eCarletonville ukuthi sengizohamba ke ngangena ke kule garage ke la engangiyobheka khona ke isimo ke samasondo emoto engihamba ngayo.
Re boa re feta the Glen Mall mo ka re Komaro somewhere there.
Now as we were coming back passing the Glen Mall at or near Komaro,
uma sesibuya ke sindlula ke lana ke kunenqanqathela izitolo khona ke eVeglen ababiza ngokuthi ke kuseVeglen eKomaro noma eduze kwaseKomaro.
I felt that the motor vehicle was now not balanced on its tires.
Ngase ngizwa ke ukuthi ke ayikho ke ibalance kwimoto ke kuma sondo ayo.
Omega sepela eksethi ke tlo joina N3 ke tlogela Bloemfontein tlogela eMalahleni.
I proceeded, and when I joined the N3 leaving the Emalahleni route,
mase ngihlangana ke nayo N3 ngishiya ke lena ke eya eMalahleni.
I felt that there was a smell of some smoke.
Ngezwa ke ukuthi kwakunale phunga ke le smoke ke eliphuma bona ke amasondo.
And the vehicle was now losing its power.
Nokuthi ke manje ke aseyaphela ke manje ukuthi imoto lena ukuthi amandla khona kuyona imoto.
Omega rapeleja ke fihla mo of ramp ya Fairwoods ke ka actually ke fenya o tsena ka garage engine ona mo Alberton.
I forced the vehicle to proceed, and when we got to an off-ramp, which I cannot recall which one is it, as we were now entering, whether is it Fairwood Park in Alberton.
Kodwa ke imoto lena ngase ngiphoqa ukuthi ke iqhubekeke noma ke iye phambili ke sayofika ke kunale off-ramp ke engasayikhumbuli kahle ke noma kuse Fairwood yini khona eAlberton.
Omega phone brigadier ginda brigadier ole mpha bathathanyana ba ke tlotsa mo garage engine ya gausu mo.
That's when I contacted Brigadier Gininda, informing the brigadier that the vehicle was now giving me problems. However, I will go into the engine filling station.
Ngase ke ngixhumana naye ke ubrigadier uGininda ngimtshela ke ukuthi imoto lena ingipha inkinga ke kodwa ke ngizongena kule garage ke engibonayo noma kule garage ke yakwa engine.
Uma le phone leng bo Jonathan le bo Buthelezi batle ba le shireletse le memo.
And he said I should call Jonathan Buthelezi and others so that they will come and cover us up as we are standing at that place.
Mase engazisa noma engitshela ke ukuthi ase ngixhumana ke noma ngishayele ucingo ke laba abashiwo ke abo Jonathan abo Buthelezi ke ukuthi bayeze babe khona ke bazosilekelela ke nanjengoma simile kuleyo ndawo.
Uma Sergeant Sergeant Mabena wila bafonela.
And even Sergeant Mabena contacted them.
Kanti naye ke uSergeant Mabena waxhumana nabo noma abashayela ucingo.
And when I went into the garage, I stopped
engine garage
at the engine garage.
Masengena khona ke garage lapho ko engine garage ngema khona.
When I alighted the vehicle and looked around the vehicle, there was some smoke that was coming from the front brakes.
Nokuthi ke uma sengiphuma kuyona ke imoto lena uma ngibheka ke kuma brakes angaphambili ke kuthiwa kune smoke lesasiphuma khona lapho ke.
And on the dashboard it reflected a oil light.
Noma ubheka ke lana ke ku dashboard ubona ke ukuthi ke ibontsha ikhombisa ke I light noma isibane ke se oil.
And
indeed Jonathan and his crew arrived as we could not be at the garage on our own without any backup as we were in a company of an accused person.
Ngempela uJonathan kanye nabanye ke bafika ke khona lapho nanjengokuthi ke sasingeke ke sime ke egarage ebusuku ke futhi ke sihamba nomsolo noma ke umangalelo.
And again, that type of a motor vehicle, a Toyota Fortuner, it's one of the vehicles that is targeted for car hijacking or car theft.
Futhi ke leyo moto ke esasihamba ngayo kuyi Toyota Fortuner ke imoto ke ephuma kabi ke ebhekwe ke ngamehlo abayifunayo ngokuthi ke uma bethatha imoto noma ke hijacking.
And as you saw that I was igniting it and stopping it.
Nanjengoba ubona ke ngokwalombhalo ke noma ngokwalombiko ke ngokwandlela ubunguza ngayo ukuthi imoto ibihamba ime ngidumisa ngiphinde ngicishe futhi.
When I opened the bonnet, I found that my oil was low.
Uma sengiyovula ke ngaphambili ke lokubizwa ngokuthi ke ibonnet ke ngathola ke ukuthi ke ioil yami ke isenzansi.
As I had oil at all the times in the vehicle, I filled up the engine with oil.
Nanjengoba ngazo zonke ke inkathi ioil ke yayihlezi ikhona ke emotweni ngase ngithela ke kuyona iengine.
I ignited the vehicle again.
Ngase ngidumisa futhi imoto.
And I tried driving the vehicle a bit, but the wheels were already stiff. They could not move back and forth.
Ngathi ke ngiyihambisa nje kancane ke kodwa kwatholakala ke ukuthi ke amasondo ke manje aye ngavumi ke ukuthi ke aye phambili nasemuva.
That is where you see that I had switched it off for quite some time for it to cool off.
Ingabo ke ubona ke ngokwalombiko ke ukuthi kulana kunala khona ke engayicisha ke isikhathi ukuthi ke ithi ke ukwehla.
Kita mo around garage as I do hold the garage e mo gareng ga ditrata tse tharo e sa e go pola botse.
And the streets that you are referring to, they could be around where the garage is situated, because that filling station, if I am not mistaken, it is between 3 streets.
Futhi ke le trata ongibuze ngazo ke sikhumbula ummeli ubuze ngaboma Mali ubuze ngaboma Fraser ngaboma Collins ukuthi lezo itrata lezo ke azikho kude nendawo nala igarage ikhona ke uma ngikhumbula kahle noma uma ngenzi ifutha ke igarage ke ngathi nje ngale kwetrata eziwu3.
Alwale wo shitshele bo shiro ara khona lo ka khwetsa thusho ya di mechanic ba rena ba sepodisa.
And as it was already at night, we were unable to get assistance from our mechanics from the police division.
Nanje ngoba kwasebusuku ke sasingekho kwisimo ke sokuthi sasingathola ke uncedo noma usizo bona ke abo mechanic basemaphoyiseni.
So really mo actually kibo Jonathan or kibo Telezi ba fonela mechanic wa mathula charging.
Therefore, whilst we were still there, I'm not sure whether it was Jonathan or Butelezi who called a mechanic who was working independently.
Ngaleso sikhathi siselapho ke ngisakhumbula uButelezi uJonathan owafonela ke umechanic oyisebenzelayo.
Ome sala atla gole unyaka oblidiwa kutshwantshiwe moya iheme.
And that mechanic came and he diagnosed the vehicle and said that vehicle needs to be bleeded as there is some air that needs to be removed from the brakes.
Wafika ngempela ke wafika ke wayidiagnose ke noma wayibheka ke washo ke ukuthi kwakunomoya ke kwakumele ukuthi ke ukhishwe kuma brakes.
Uyibone ayidlana kwetile leso. Eka kana polisa go bona rena e tla khona go sepela or bianga ya aitla gore a gore mechanic le aitlena kwetile nyana. So then remove around the go wanna remove around the strategy.
Now as you see the vehicle idling for some time, it was when we were trying to move it around to see if it would be able to move further. And even as we were driving around those streets, the streets are nearby each other. That is where we were trying to see if the vehicle will be able to proceed.
Nanjengoba ke ubona ke ngokwawo umbiko lona ke kunesikhathi lapho na ke imoto iduma isikhathi ke eside ila khona ke ayithi ke umechanic ke ayibheke khona ke isimo sayo imoto futhi ke sihamba kuzona lezi itrada lezi yana ke oyichazile ke oyifundile khona lana ngoba lezi itrada yitrato eyisondelene kwabhekwa khona lokho ke ukuthi imoto manje ikusiphi isimo.
And whilst we were still there, we bought food and ate.
Sisekhona lapho ke ila ekwathengwa khona ke ukudla sasesidla.
We did not forget Mr. Ntanzi as we ate. He also ate with us.
Azange simkhohlweke uNtanzi ngaleso sikhathi ke naye ke ayithaphela wadla nathi.
Well, ubethile akuzona akahlabishetha khoro ubethile jwang kae ke samona.
When he says he was assaulted, I do not know. Maybe he can explain it to the court on where was he assaulted and when was he assaulted, as I did not see him being assaulted, my lord.
Manje ke uma ethi ke bambamba bamiyeka ke engizofisa ukuthi ke ayichazeleke lenkantolo ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani kwenzeka kuphi mina ngingazange ngikubone lokho.
Sorry, I don't want to repeat evidence, but as I'm listening, is the sergeant saying he would be happy? He's not supposed to ask questions, by the way, but his evidence is how, when, and how. Just are you with me?
I'm with you, man.
Because they just mention when and where. They don't mention how. Who doesn't mention how is the interpreter. Am I right, sir?
I'm getting lost now.
Bammetile Juang Kai Wabon, go Kai. Juang. The interpreter just left out how, Juang.
As the court pleases,
I
ma'am.
mean, if you insist, you did say that you can play the record.
Go jwalo nkere gore go na le karolo e leng gore nna ke shile.
I can't move my lord.
I did not hear it properly, my lord. However, as an interpreter myself, as the court says, I pleased as it pleased the court, my lord.
Uthi ke umbuzo uthi ke noma ushilo kufakazi ukuthi uma ukuthi ke uNtanzi uthi bamshaya kuphi nendawo bamshaya kanjani bamshaya ngasiphi isikhathi.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Are you done?
Le fedije go tlhalosha.
Gomme ka le lebele tshintse tima chuma gape ga mkhwebere sa ilukisha gore re be re kgone go sepela ka yona go fitlhela ge le gore e ba maemong a o kaone.
And as you saw that it was switching on and off, and we were trying to, that is the time when we were trying to fix it to see if we will be able to drive with that vehicle until it got into a better state.
Nanje ngoba ubona ke lana ngoba ngibikwa ukuthi imoto yayicishwa ke idunyiswe ke imoto iyideleke ukuthi leso sikhathi leso ke ilapho na ke sasibheka isimo ke semoto baze isikhathi ke la ifinyelela khona ukuthi sibone ukuthi ikusimo esingcono ke manje ukuthi sesingaqhubeka kahambe ngayo.
Fedije
I am done.
Remember when my colleague for the state asked you from the inception of your examination as about overspeeding, you told the court that the car was from service, it had power.
Le sa gopola re ne motšhotšhisi a le botšiša ka nako e la gebe le tshetše lebelo gore lena le ile la re koloi e be e tšwa servicing gape e be e na le maatla.
nnete